And Aakash Patel is here as well. Great to have you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I mean, Aakash has got he's a business consultant here in town, and you've got some of the top businesses in town consult with you. You do all kinds of stuff from business advice, strategic planning, to social media marketing. And I'll tell you what I love about talking to you is you have got your finger on the pulse of Tampa, and there's so many great things going on in Tampa. So why don't you bring us up to speed on some of the exciting stuff that's going to be happening here locally?
Yeah, well, thanks. Well, at Elevate Inc., we always talk about the reasons Tampa has swagger. And that's our hashtag is Tampa has swagger because we got so many cool things going on in our community in the Bay. But you look at Tampa downtown, the Jeff Vinnick project called Water Street. Today, the new JW Marriott opens up. It's the 100th JW Marriott in the world. And it's our first luxury hotel we have in our Bay Area. And I got to tour it last week, and I'm telling you, Morgan, you're going to love it. Roxanne, you got to go there. They've got a great spa. They've got an amazing pool.
You're speaking my language, Aakash.
And they're going to have a rooftop bar, and I know Morgan likes that.
Oh, I can't wait that was one of Jeff Vinnick's strategies. That's why he built that cooling tower area that's got all the air conditioning for all of Water Street in one place so that we could have open rooftops and we could have rooftop restaurants and bars.
Aakash, I'm thinking back to something I read about some of Vinnick's development in some of the corporate areas. He's really big into wellness too, isn't he? With the water that's been filtered properly, and I don't know, places to work out
and walkable living. If you think about Sparkman Wharf and that whole area, he's remodeled, and he wants people to walk and enjoy the waterfront, which is nice. What we should do. And
it's beautiful down there. I mean, and they've got some beautiful architecture. I mean, I really like some different kind of architecture. It's not all just rectangular buildings. But some of the new apartments they're building, I mean, some of the fascia that they're putting up is just really interesting looking visually.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then the funniest thing is I wanted to see the fourth floor of the hotel because I want to see the ballrooms, all the events we used to go to. And they've turned that into a practice facility for the Toronto Raptors, which are now going to play a season, or at least the first part of the season. They've already started playing in Tampa.
All right. So and we got some interesting stuff coming up with sports, and I know you're really connected with some of that. So we got the Raptors are going to play their season here in Tampa. What about the Lightning?
The Lightning, they announced last night that the NHL, they are going to play live. They haven't announced the fans yet, but they are going to have a season, and they're going to have a specialized divisions. But at least the Lightning are going to start, and that's January 13th. The season kicks off.
All right. And then we are right around the corner from the Super Bowl.
February 7th is the big day. Roxanne, you ready?
I'm ready. And I hope we get the traffic and inflow of people down here by then. I'm hoping that things have turned around and you have the people who are most vulnerable vaccinated and you see more movement.
Yeah, Julian B. Lane Park, which is that waterfront park in Tampa. It's like probably one of our newest water parks. Is going to be the full front for all the NFL fans, all the experiences. It's going to be outdoors. They're taking all the right precautions because the NFL, has had some scares, but they've worked through it, which has been pretty good. And, I mean, the Bucs are looking good. They won yesterday. So it could be, as the mayor says, it could be the first time that a host city wins the Super Bowl and plays in it.
We're so confident with Tom Brady, aren't we?
That would be amazing.
Anything can happen with him at the helm.
How smart to bring him in, and how silly of New England to let him go, really. But, I mean, such exciting things going on in our city. And it's great because people are traveling again. At the airports, they've got some rapid tests going on. So, I mean, the need for those rapid tests is so huge. We can't even meet the need yet. But people are at least starting to travel again.
Yeah, I went to the airport today. I went at 7:10 because I'm going to see my grandfather later today. He's 91 years old. So if I'm going to see an elderly, I want to make sure I'm tested. So I went at 7:30 or 7:10 in the morning, and they open at 7:30, and all the people in line, you have to show travel verification. And I'm traveling in a few days. You don't have to travel on the same day. Mm-hmm. But the point of the story is that every single person at the airport today is traveling in the next 2 weeks, you say. And it's good to see our airport busy again. It's good to see people on planes again. It's good to see people want to take a precaution because rapid testing is instant. I got my results in 20 minutes, obviously negative.
Yeah, right. Great. Well, yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I mean, I'm positive. Here we go. Oh, hey, good. Great to see you in studio today.
I hate to be the negative person in this discussion, but okay, so you've got everybody testing 2 weeks out before they travel. So they're going to quarantine for 2 weeks before they get on the plane. I mean, I hate to bring up these logistical issues.
Well, you know what we're going to go to, though? We're going to go to testing on the spot before you get on the airplane. Okay. That's what's coming. As soon as we can get the capacity.
That works.
And the accuracy of the tests, which, that is here or coming real soon, these really accurate, on-the-spot, rapid tests. In fact, they've got one that's in development. That's what they call a swish and spit test. Which won't that be great? You don't have to have anything, any strange things stuck in any of your orifices. You can just swish a little. Yeah, you can. You can just swish
That's a good word of the day.
Swish a little mouthwash, spit it into the tube. In 5 minutes, you'll have your answer. That's coming soon. That's coming real soon, and that'll be distributed all across the country. And
Somebody's
that'll
going to make a lot of money with that.
Yeah. I certainly hope so. That will become a feature at flying from now on, and then you can be comfortable. You know, with a highly accurate rapid test, you can be comfortable getting on an airplane and not even wearing a stupid mask. And I hate to say I'm stupid. But these cloth masks that most people wear that I would prefer, because the other ones, I really feel like I'm suffocating. Yeah, you brought an N95
This is painful.
It's painful. Would you walk up those stairs up here to the studio? I mean, I start, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And that's how I know this. Some people seem to be fine with them, but I've talked to a lot of people that have trouble breathing in all the masks. I don't like it.
But Roxanne, I'm with you, because there were people that were getting tested. Of course, they got the results that were negative. Then they take the monorail to the boarding gate. They get on the flight, and then they land, and they got to go to baggage claim at the other city they land in. So why don't you get it where you land? I didn't understand. Never understood that.
Yes. That seems like it would make a little bit more sense. I guess they want to do it to keep people off the planes if you find out you have a bad test result. But sure.
Well, and if we could eventually get these cheap enough, I mean, you could just carry around a set in like your jacket pocket, and just before you do something or you're going to run into some people, just check yourself if you want to.
You think we'll get an app?
There is going to be, I think, an app that helps you read it. Is there going to be an app that can actually test you? Boy, that's next level right there.
I think
I'm
you
sure
can do that.
I think I know they're working on that, testing like the sound of the cough, and they can pick up on whether or not, but I can't believe that that's accurate enough at this point.
Right.
At this point. But, we may be getting there.
And then we're going to create a new breed of paranoia with people who want to test themselves like around the clock.
Right.
Ooh, let me test myself. But I came in contact with someone 10 minutes ago, so let me retest.
Right.
Kind of like a germaphobe, but to a new level.
Yep. No more just washing your hands. Now you're testing every time you turn around. I have some friends that have gone out and gotten quite, what I consider to be one too many probably tests. I mean, it's like every time, I better get tested. And, of course, some of these places charge a fair bit for the test. And one place locally was charging you $200 a pop for the on-the-spot test. And you're like, wow, that's...
Well, so the one that I took at the airport, Baycare, is $60. But if the airport, they close at 1:30. So if you need to go to the outpatient, which is around all the area, it's $150.
Wow. That adds up fast.
Same company, though, but just depends where you get it.
Right. Well, let's talk about, speaking of companies, let's talk about companies that are coming to the state of Florida, because that's another area that you've really got your fingers on the pulse of.
Yeah, what's going on with the world is, places that have headquarters in other cities, like let's say New York, for example, they're realizing they can work from anywhere. Why not work where the weather's great? And so, in tax purposes, people are moving to Florida. I heard a stat the other day, 200 people a day are moving to Florida and leaving New York. And 1,000 people a day in general move to Florida. So Tampa Bay is going to get a third of that crowd. So our housing market, as you know, is going great. Unemployment's getting better every day because our governor is actively recruiting companies. So I think Florida and Tampa Bay specifically, with our leadership, is on the rise.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And you can see it everywhere. You can see it in the downtown. You can see the building. And one thing I would say, I was telling you this before the show. One thing I would say to the folks that are moving here is, remember why you're moving here, right? Don't try to recreate New York. I mean, why are you leaving New York? Why are you leaving California? Why are you trying to get away from these fascists like Andrew Cuomo and Bill de Blasio, who've got your entire city and your entire state shut down? They're not missing a meal. They're still doing all the stuff they want to do, and that's all documented. Their families, they're still going out to the Hamptons. They're still having their parties. They're still eating at all the finest restaurants when they want to do it, but you're not allowed to do anything. You're not allowed to operate your business, and people are almost in full-scale revolt, and so they're leaving, and they're saying, where can we go? And let's be honest, folks, there's not that many options in the entire United States that are free like Florida is free. And we've got to give thanks to Governor Ron DeSantis, because he's really taken a stand under a ton of political pressure, including from most of our mainstream media in the state of Florida. All of our big newspapers have just lambasted him for months about his irresponsibility under the threat of this pandemic at leaving things open. Meanwhile, everything's fine. Everything is fine. You see it, I see it. We can all see it with our own two eyes. Everything's fine. There is no major problem here in the state of Florida. And you look at the places where they are having major problems. Funny thing is, it's places like New York and California where they're under these draconian lockdowns, whereas we're still doing pretty well. But in terms of choices within the United States, I mean, where can you go? Maybe South Dakota? I mean, those are your options, South Dakota or Florida. So you pick. You pick. Where do you want to live? You want to live someplace where South Dakota is cold. And there's not a lot going on up there. Yeah, it might be free, but it is cold, and there's not a lot going on unless you're in the fracking industry up there.
Yeah, and this governor, you talk about other states like Michigan and California, and they're all partisan. I mean, this governor reaches across the aisles. He's got team leaders on his cabinet that are not in his party, and he speaks his mind to the media, and there are not a lot of governors that do that. He lashes back, which he should.
So when people come here, think about why you left California. Think about why you left New York. And I guess we're getting mostly New York. We're getting most of the New Yorkers, I think. I think Texas might be getting most of the Californians. But think about why you left these places. Don't come to these new states and start voting for the same people that created the problem in the state you just left. Don't come and start voting for the liberal fascists.
When Governor DeSantis just took his role, I remember seeing him make some decisions that I thought were a little bit opposite of what you might see Republicans do in terms of environment comes to mind. And I thought right away, this guy is going to do what he feels is best to protect the people who live here, protect our environment, protect our economy. And so I like to see that, like you said, the bipartisan nature of it all.
Yeah, he's kind of like a President Trump in that way, in that he's not a highly partisan, red or blue team player like that. He wants to do what he thinks best for all the people. That's the way I view it.
Yeah, the first thing he did was the Everglades. You were talking about Roxanne. I mean, that was a campaign promise and he delivered. What governor does that?
Right. Yeah. What politician actually does what they promise before the election? Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.